Hey there, Tesai here. And yes, even I am joining the Hytale hype train. Although I do so a little bit late and in one single video rather than lengthy series. If you ask why so, that's because I have been waiting for this game for years. You might ask how long? Well, I vividly remember talking about this game with my friends back on our TeamSpeak server. You know how long it has been since we used TeamSpeak? Ages. I bet even half of the people watching my stuff don't remember TeamSpeak. Anyway, what the hell is a Hytale and is it any good? Let me give you a very quick rundown of what it is. It's a voxel based sandbox game. If you don't know what voxel is, it's basically a fancy language for cubes. Hytale places huge emphasis on visuals, customization, building, exploration and combat, it seems. So basically any modern sandbox game in a nutshell, it seems to me. I really feel like I have seen about 3 or 4 other games that literally look the same. So what is different about this one? Well, for starters, the developers understand that it's extremely annoying to have your ears blasted off by ultra loud effects and music the second you start the game. The default volume for the game and everything else is not at 100%, it's about 80%, which is better than 99% of the game. I personally would love to see this at 50% by default, but hey ho, you can't have everything. I also like the UI, it's simple and intuitive. I haven't felt lost in it, and I always instinctively knew where to go to find whatever I was looking for quickly and easily. It also looks great and feels natural. I'm just gonna quickly skim through the character creation screen. There's a great amount of customizations with not only the body, skin and eyes, but also a good amount of clothes and details. I guess they had to make some kind of compromise during the development because you cannot have overcoat and scarf at the same time, which is a shame. Likewise, some other stuff is just blending together too much for my taste, but I do understand that some parts of the outfits are just not designed to fit together. But if I had to give a feedback, this would be it. Oh yeah, by the way, there is a cowboy hat, which is massive for me. Since we were talking about supporting systems that makes the game feel whole and finished, let me just add that the sound and music design is phenomenal. It's not obnoxious, it's tasteful, it fits the aesthetics, and each screen and biome sounds and feels so good thanks to it. I haven't felt this good about sounds and music in games ever since I played Red Dead Redemption 2 and Elite Dangerous are the only 2 other games that really came to mind if we are talking sound design and music. Likewise, the controls and supporting gameplay systems like buffs and debuffs are great, intuitive, clearly explained and clearly communicated. Even for people who don't read English, I imagine just the images and icons would be enough to communicate what is really happening and what they should be doing. I was massively surprised by the combat system, which can be surprisingly complex, and each weapon really feels different. I end up using daggers, which is unusual for me since I am usually a ranger kind of guy in every single game. Anyway, to continue more of the gaming systems, rather the game feels like there is already quite a lot of content. At no point of my play session I felt like I've been playing an early access title, and it all felt really good. The fun pimps and their 7 days to die could probably learn a lesson here, I guess. The game is all about exploration, especially in the early game, since we need various types of resources, and to ease the early grind, all the basic resources are already available. We are talking wood in the form of sticks on the ground and stones in the form of pebbles, so no tree punching needed. Also, later on for the crafting, you rarely need specific type of wood or stone, you can just use any kind of stone or wood to craft most of the things. Minecraft should take a lesson here. Since we mentioned trees and Minecraft, the trees fall down, there is a gravity tied to them and we don't have to cut each block one by one, which after playing Minecraft for so many years is an awesome change. I understand that at this point, the tree punching and annoyance of floating treetops and just sheer grind connected to tree farming in Minecraft is sort of trademark for the game, but jeez, I am always installing Treecapitator whenever I play Minecraft these days. To follow up on stuff that not only Minecraft but also 7 Days to Die and Terraria should learn from, let's talk inventory and crafting. Crafting in both hands and crafting stations with materials that are not only in your inventory, not only in the open storage, but with materials that are stored anywhere in any of your chests that are close by, is a thing here. This cuts so much of the hassle and annoyance, and I wish we had option like this in every single game that contains inventories. To follow up on that, you can easily transfer stuff from your inventory into storage and back. I would love to see Hytale developer team to take inspiration from 7 Days to Die to have keybinds for at least loot or function, but ideally for each function, and to take inspiration from Terraria to have an auto-sort feature that will sort your inventory into all nearby storages. Every single survival game should do that. Terraria is a goat here. Since we are talking about crafting, the amount of crafting stations can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but I personally think it's about the right amount and makes sense. It also helps that each station has a pretty unique design, so it can provide a lot of freedom when building in general. Also, any station that uses fuel will automatically shut itself off when it runs out of stuff to process, which is awesome, and 7 Days to Die should take a note here. While at the topic of building, the amount of furniture and just cool looking blocks is staggering at first. It might not be as much as Terraria has in terms of variety, and definitely not as many as 7 Days to Die in terms of sheer amount of shapes and possibilities, but it definitely has more than enough to make some pretty epic and creative builds for both interior and exterior. And also, you can preview blocks and rotate them with just a key press like in 7 Days to Die, not the junky approach Minecraft uses. And lastly, before we stop talking about features, just the fact that you can take a horse, instantly ride it, and it can swim is awesome. It's also pleasant to ride a horse here, and it's real convenience when traveling, unlike horses in Minecraft that are just useless liability. On the other hand, we cannot tame anything, so no pets right now, and I didn't find a way to make a lead or anything to tie my newly acquired skeleton horse and keep it. So it has to live in a dirt hole because otherwise it's just gonna run away. So yeah, the horses doesn't suck balls in this game and the world is still not burning. Do better, Mojang. To not only praise the game, there is some criticism. The combat assist right now is just too easy. I died only twice, once to see what happens and the second time because I forgot a bow in my house and got ganked by some desert wasps or some shit. I couldn't fight back against them and they just outnumbered me and whittled me down. But if you level the playing field, you can just strive or slowly back away from any foe while slashing at them and you will be fine not taking any hits. For ranged enemies, you can just take pot shots at them from a distance while taking cover, or jump them with daggers and quickly annihilate them. There are some bugs though. For example, I spawned on a ward spawn after traveling through a portal and dying, even though I had named the bed and set it as my spawn point before. I can also see through the edges of blocks into the void whenever I'm mining, and sometimes some blocks or minerals turn completely black and remain so until at least one of the surrounding blocks isn't mined. I also found this. It seems like a bug to me, but it also might be some feature I just don't understand. Either way, I have high hopes to see all the stuff fixed and patched out soon, because I haven't ever played a game on day one that was this smooth, easy to pick up, and play with no issues. There are no crashes, no stutters, or any other issues, at least in my experience. The game also cost about $25, which is including in tax as well. This is insane. I am also a little bit worried about the premium features that seems to be planned, but so far it only seems to be cosmetics that are being given to people who decides to buy the higher priced supporter versions. I'm also curious about multiplayer, but because the only other guy I know who has the game is Destro, go and check his channel by the way if you speak Czech language, who have been streaming his playthrough from day one, I haven't had an option to try multiplayer yet. That being said, let me rate the game and share my thoughts. If it ain't obvious, I really like the game. I don't think it's a direct competitor to Minecraft, which is what many people seem to be convinced about, because it's more like a 3D Terraria. If anything, I would feel like Valheim would be its closest competitor. The game feels whole and has finished and polished vibes, which is rare these days. 7 Days to Die and Minecraft should take a lesson here and learn a bit or two about crafting stations and inventory management. 7 Days to Die should also learn a tiny bit here about how to make the game identity feel unified, because even though there are insane amount of shapes and blocks in 7 Days to Die, as well as some furniture, it all feels odd and it's insanely hard to make a good looking interior in 7 Days to Die. It feels great in Hytale in comparison, it's at least comparable to Terraria. In a similar manner, Minecraft should take a lesson here and just add some furniture and other decorative blocks that are not just, plain blocks. People have been asking for a simple chair and table for decades. It elevates the interior so much here. On the other hand, I felt a bit lost in Hytale. There is no sense of direction besides just getting to the portal. The game recipes tell you what to do next, roughly, but I would really appreciate having a guide NPC from Terraria or at least something. Even just the stupid quest system from 7 Days to Die helps a lot. Something to communicate what the purpose of my character might be, what some goals might be, etc. There are void enemies spawning and they keep getting stronger over time. Warn me about it in some way like the 7 Days to Die warns me about blood moons. Or just have a dialogue with random NPC hinting at something like that. Anything. But beside that, just go and buy the game. It seems like fun times to me. I don't have a creator code, so I don't really have anything to sell you. This is just my opinion. I'm pretty sure this is a new big game that will firmly establish its place somewhere between Terraria, Minecraft, and probably Valheim. I don't feel like it's direct competitor to either of those, although I instantly love the building aspect more in Hytale than I do in Minecraft. But I do so in 7 Days to Die and Terraria as well, and I still play Minecraft even after doing so for almost half of my life. So, that's it. If you are still unsure, the $25 for the basic version is definitely worth it. The game is fun and should get even better over time. Hope this helps. Thank you very much for watching and bye.